AVC Vinyl Tag 2024. Cheers to Rob Walker. He puts this out every year in January 1st. Puts out a bunch of questions, and if you're a VC content creator, gives you an opportunity to jump on the thread and answer all these various questions. It differs every year and get to know each other a little bit better. Whole lot of fun. I had a blast just putting this together and watching a few of the videos already that other guys have put out there. It's a really fun exercise, so I'm going to jump right into it. Try to keep this as brief as possible. Okay, first off, favorite purchase of 2023. There's been a lot, but this one kind of stands out for me. I got this from a Whatnot auction. That's the Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds live at Luther College. They played that set in 1994. This album was instrumental in me picking up a guitar and learning how to play. I still suck, but I love playing it, and I still own my guitar. And that album there was a grail for me even before I knew I was going to get a record player. So glad I got that. The CD I have of that, the jewel case, is beat to shit. You can't even close it anymore. Great album, great pickup, favorite of the year for sure. Last record purchase of 2023. The last one I got was this Leo Kottke's 6 and 12 string guitar. Great album, another grail item for me. Never thought I'd ever come across this in the wild. I think it is a reissue, whatever. It's old, it's beautiful, it plays great. Fingerstyle guitar player, if you didn't know. Really great stuff. Leo Kottke, 6 and 12 string guitar. Next question, question 3. A band or a singer who released 2 or more albums in the same year. So in April and then in September, this band released 2 albums. I think they went into the studio and they just laid down a whole bunch of stuff. And so the dedicated fan base kind of knew this was coming. Sure enough, it did happen. And that, of course, is The National. Probably showed these already before. First 2 pages of Frankenstein. That was the first one in April. And in September, they released Laugh Track. Great band out of Ohio. If you haven't heard of them, please check them out. The National. Next question. If you could only listen to music from one decade, what would it be? This is kind of a tough one. I think it's probably tough for everybody. I could have said 60s, but I'm going with 70s. There's just that much more classic rock, which I guess is my #1 genre. And you also got a lot of early Brit blues kind of stuff in the very early 70s. You know, this is the decade of Zeppelin and so many other hard rock bands, right? So 70s was a tough call. Late 60s, early 70s would have been my era for sure, but I'm going with the 70s for sure on this one. A record from a band or singer from Manchester. So I know that Glenn Kellaway, you showed this one as well. This is the Hollies. This is their greatest hits comp. Songs like Bus Stop and Carrie Ann, and Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress. Those are the big hits off that album. The Hollies out of Manchester. Let's see here. You know who else is out of Manchester? I don't know any of yet is John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. I want some John Mayall in my collection. Waiting for the right thing to come up. Band singer listened to the most in 2023. This is kind of hard to figure out, but good educated guess would be My Morning Jacket. So I got a few of their albums. I'll definitely be a completist on this group. There's only a few more I think I need, but again, My Morning Jacket, most listened to artist in this house. What else we got? Oh, 7-inch records. So I don't purposely collect 7-inch records, but I am a member of the Pearl Jam fan club, and they would give you a 7-inch record every Christmas time. So I have a few of those, plus a few extras that I just stumbled across. I got a Deep Purple Smoke on the Water. I got a David Bowie Space Oddity. I got a God Only Knows Beach Boys. Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall. And then what else we got here? Chance, Concert Buddy. Some VCLT from him. Sammy Hagar, Winner Takes It All, from that beautiful movie, Over the Top. Stallone, Over the Top. And then, like I said, Pearl Jam fan club stuff. I got Eddie Vedder doing Wildflowers and Keep Me in Your Heart. 2 epic songs. Great 7-inch to own. And then Pearl Jam, we got Merkin Ball. So that was done in conjunction with Neil Young. Okay, so that's a bunch of 7-inch records for you. Who's coming to dinner? 4 music-related people, dead or alive. This was kind of fun to think about. You can go any which way possible. And I was thinking, okay, are people going to try to build a band and have a, some kind of have a bass player, a drummer, a guitarist, lead singer? And then I thought, no, it's a dinner. I'm going to assume there's no music being played, and this is a conversation thing. So a conversation thing, who do I want to talk to? Well, I want to talk to my number one guy, and I want to talk to Eddie Vedder. Eddie's invited to dinner. Who else is invited to dinner? Another number one guy, and that's Bob. Bob's coming to dinner. And then just for a little bit of drama, we'll throw one of Bob's exes in the mix, and that's Joan. Joan's coming to dinner. And finally, I want some blues history. I want Mr. Sunhouse. So why those people? I think that conversation would be great because each of those four people have a very active social conscience and have a lot of history and a lot of stories to share. So I think the conversation at the dinner table would be highly enlightening. And like I said, maybe a little bit of drama with Joan and Bob. But anyway, that's it. Someone who passed away in 2023. Robbie Robertson from The Band. Great Canadian singer-songwriter. Robbie Robertson. If you haven't read his biography yet, do it. It's friggin' amazing. Okay, partway there. Number 10, only listen to music from one country. What country would it be? I'm going with the US simply because I was kind of brought up with that kind of music, especially as I came into music. It was 90s grunge, again, Pearl Jam, and a lot of other great stuff, but also the blues, right? The blues coming out of the States that eventually would go to Europe and influence a lot of other awesome artists, but I want the US mainly for the blues influence. 3 VC channels discovered in 2023. Definitely the hardest question, Rob. This was pretty tough to narrow down, but I'm definitely giving a shout out to my core group of buddies from my Wednesday night live stream, and that is Rob at Northern Revolutions, Alex Beer and Vinyl, Sam St. John, and Glenn Kellaway from The Basement. These guys are my core group of buddies, love them all, love doing the live stream with them and doing lots of other collaborations. Another guy I definitely have to mention is Chance Concert Buddy. Just like Rob, really influenced me to kind of get into this whole VC thing, so you can blame them if you're tired of seeing my face. Steve Westman, another guy, great channel, great interviews. Discovered most of these people in 2023, maybe some in 2022. I've been watching the VC for years, but without getting too deep into all the different people, and there's a lot of guys out there. MGK Boston, I got to shout out to him as well. Great channel. I love watching his stuff. How's Colton doing there? Anyway, so what else do we got here? The next question. Record you bought when you were a teenager. So I didn't have a record player back then, but I knew I was going to get one day. And the first thing I ever bought that was vinyl related was the Pearl Jam 10 box set. I've mentioned this band way too many times already in this short video. Nonetheless, this was the first vinyl I've ever bought. And yeah, no regrets there. Okay, Show a Funk or Soul album. Curtis Mayfield, Superfly soundtrack. Amazing stuff. Actually, a really awesome pressing of that as well. I think Kevin Gray's fingerprints are on there. Great stuff. What else? A record everyone has. Okay, you know what that is. A record no one has. Josh White, Ballads and Blues. I got a 10-inch of this, super old record. Great stuff. Again, old blues guy, just playing his guitar. Beautiful stuff. I never get tired of listening to this kind of stuff. Josh White, Ballads and Blues, Volume 1. Female artist I purchased in 2023. I scored this about a month ago. This is incredible. What a live performance. What an epic performance. The voice on her, just so powerful. Just beautiful stuff. Favorite video that I posted. Well, I'm going to say my first one because, I jumped on that thread. 10 records I listened to the most. What a great way to jump into the VC. Got a ton of views, got a ton of subscribers who are now probably very disappointed with my output. I'm looking at you, Alex. I know you want more. I'm trying to give you more. Favorite video I watched, another super hard question. I consume a lot of VC content. I try to comment on everything I watch. The first thing that comes to mind, and I couldn't pinpoint which one it was, Concert Buddies Surface Noise live stream. There was one within the last couple months that I was crying. I was laughing so hard. Highly entertaining stuff. Mazzy did one. I couldn't find which one it was. Again, making me laugh. so good. Yeah, so there's a lot of great VC content out there. Some of those live streams though, where it's pretty free flowing banter and you get to understand the personalities in the VC and you get to know people, and watching them interact is super fun. So I'd say the Surface Noise live streams are kind of my number one favorite thing to watch. If I'm not watching my own live stream, which I actually don't do, but you can watch it. Let's see here. Show a record I would call a classic from the 90s. I could have picked Nevermind, but I picked this one. I'm more familiar with this album, and this was the album that I like most from Nirvana. So Unplugged in New York, I think that's a bloody well classic. 1994, I believe that came out. Okay, if I could walk into a cover of an album that I own, this is a great question. There was a lot of wicked looking covers. I could have chose a real trippy one and just made some kind of joke about that. However, when I came across this, again, back to the blues again, Muddy Water folk singer, you know, he's in this studio and he's playing with Willie Dixon and Buddy Guy. Like, look at the crowd in there, right? They're just in a studio, and if you could be in that studio when they're recording this masterpiece, and it's recorded so well, just to be in there and watch them put down those tracks would have been just epic. Not to mention the stories each of those guys could tell, and just watching them work their magic. Anyway, I'd walk into that studio. Let's see here. Show a record you're so familiar with that feels like a greatest hits album. I think I show this almost every bloody video, I'm sorry, but I can't get enough of Pink Floyd's Metal. Pink Floyd's Metal, I probably play this maybe the most out of all my records. Well, I try not to, but it's the one I want to put on the most. Pink Floyd's Metal, the one I'm most familiar with, and to me it's a greatest hits. There's like maybe one track on that I don't listen to too often, but the rest, epic. And then finally, last question. Thanks for bearing with me. I can't believe you're still watching. Probably not still watching. An album released in 1974, and that's Mr. Neil Young, On the Beach. KVC, thanks Rob Walker. This is a hell of a lot of fun. I made a huge mess laying out all my records here, trying to figure out the answers to these questions. Great stuff. I look forward to watching a whole bunch more Vinyl Tag videos. Keep up the great work. Keep putting these things out every year, Rob. This is a really great way to connect with the rest of the VC. So thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Spin it often, spin it loud.